I was kind of losing a spark in what I did. I always knew that content is the thing that I want to spend my life in. All of the actions that you take, as much as possible, as much as you can, try to back it up with the data.
Hello, Julius, and thank you for joining me today on this podcast. It's pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Rita. Thanks for having me, first of all. I'm really happy and excited to have this conversation with you today.
Amazing. I am following you on LinkedIn and I read your content basically every day, and it's super inspiring and motivating. And that's why I wanted to figure out who is this person behind it. And let's start with the introduction. Tell me, what do you do and how did you start with LinkedIn?
Thank you so much for these kind words. So, I came from a small city in Lithuania. So, it's a country in the middle of Europe. And I'm living right now in a capital city. I moved in, I think, for 3 years right now. And I've been in the content creation world for more than 5 years now. I'm particularly on LinkedIn for 1.5 year right now, and I begin my journey from A to Z. I would say from commercials to social media. Then for 2 years, I niche down in the e-commerce industry, working with like big brands like from all around the world. Was working with one US company, and it was a job of my dreams. I could like clearly say that, but it didn't feel right as I was losing a spark. I wasn't feeling like fulfilled, like actually doing the job that I'd like to do in the future. So this was kind of a beginning of my search for something new and searching for the ways how I could uh, do things in a way that I feel, first of all, fulfilled, and second of all, doing it in the most impactful and in the most effective way possible. So this is kind of a short version of how I became the person that I am today.
Got it. Okay, so you just told to yourself, okay, LinkedIn is my platform. Let's start on LinkedIn, or were you searching on other platforms how to, you know, well, to fire your to fire again, like because you didn't really got inspired before. So how did it happen with LinkedIn?
Yeah, so I always knew that content is the thing that I want to spend my life in because I really enjoy um, having myself and seeing others fulfilling their vision, fulfilling their beliefs in terms of not only business but actually, showing themselves like as a person as they are. So I think that LinkedIn is a great combination of you showing who you are and at the same time showing like of capabilities that you can give to the other people, and not like in the business kind of perspective but also like helping each other to thrive and making like um the business like process even easier, because LinkedIn is like is built on developing relationships. And I think it's one of the best ways how you can build yourself a solid groundwork for your personal brand. So because I think it's a great combination, like there is a reason why personal branding has a personal in it, so you have a personality that can shine, and the brand that can secure your future opportunities for yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, sure, that's all true. I saw that you're also creating great videos on LinkedIn. Like, do you have a YouTube channel? Did you try it with like YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, so that's a great question though. I'm kind of always cheering for the video content once I see somebody creating a video on LinkedIn. So like I mentioned, I had experience working with several different social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So myself, I didn't kind of developed a personal account for telling my things, my stuff, because all of those years I was focusing on the clients, like basically delivering the top notch A plus class service for them. So I could do the best possible job that I can. So only this year, kind of, I decided that okay, this is the time where I need to treat myself as my own client. So January 1st, 2023, I kind of began my consistent journey on LinkedIn. Well, obviously, I posted before, but it was kind of random, inconsistent, and I didn't understand like how I want to position myself in the first place. So obviously, I have an Instagram. It's like more for a personal reasons. I also use Twitter, which is actually a interesting discovery for me, as I was like never familiar with this such a platform, especially when nobody is using around you. So I kind of gave it a shot at the beginning of the year as well. So did some posting. I check Twitter on a daily basis. Like I love learning this platform because it's kind of similar to what is LinkedIn kind of having and at the moment. So yeah.
What's your strategy right now on LinkedIn? Like, how much time do you spend? How much time ahead do you prepare your content? Like, yeah, basically, how much time do you spend on the platform?
Yeah, so to give like a simple answer to this, my strategy is focusing on data and following fundamentals. That's it. Stevan Konsar, I don't know how to pronounce his surname. Maybe you know him from Authority Marketing.
Hmm.
He's a huge guy on LinkedIn. Likes to call it like a big three. So the burning problem you solve, your ideal client, and your uniqueness. So all of that can be done through optimizing your profile, creating content, and engaging with people. Messaging is an essential part too, as people usually think that everybody knows everything about them and they just need to create a piece of content occasionally and that's it. No, if you want to see a real change, you need to start talking to people, and it's the best way to accelerate your profile. So first things first, you need to take care of the fundamentals, like understanding what is your offer, what is that particular offer is like for a specific target audience, then going on with the actual kind of strategy, with the engagement strategy, with outreach strategy, and then you just like following up simple actions day by day, because there are no like clever or super difficult kind of frameworks, techniques, and so on. If you begin to analyze like top creators and what they did to get there, they basically did a simple stuff and they repeated over time. That's all. And basically they injected their personalities. So like they didn't only talked about, some serious business stuff, like how to do XYZ. They also showed themselves like how they prefer things, like how they see themselves in the business and so on. And how much I spend time on the platform. So this is an interesting part, because once I began being consistent on the platform this year, January, I was kind of like, well, I was always a hardworking person, so I was like ready for everything, and I wanted to do everything I can to get there faster. So I was spending ton of the time, and basically I don't know, 6, even maybe sometimes 7 hours per day. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I know, but with the time, I gathered some super valuable learnings that it's not the amount of time you spend here, is the quality of time that you spend on LinkedIn. So basically, a huge learning learned that all of the actions that you take, as much as possible, as much as you can, try to back it up with the data, with like the actual reason why you are doing this particular action. So this is my approach, like to give it a broad picture.
Interesting. This is really interesting. So you are analyzing the data, and right now I see that you're also offering different services to the clients. So you're still running your content on the platform and creating. I see that you're creating all types of content. You're really strong with documents, and you also have videos and images, like everything else, and you still provide services to your clients. So, do you have kind
Yeah.
of balance between that, or you prioritizing something more than like providing services to clients more, or building your personal brand more? Like, what's going on there with the balance?
Yeah. So in number one position in my priority list is clients. So no doubt, and they're like nothing that can be compromised or compared. So first of all, so let's say if we talk about the day. So I do all the tasks required to get done with the maybe client's profile, with the client's content, like everything required to do today. And then only after this my profile comes second. So this is the way how you should do it. And well, obviously I spent a couple of hours per day for my own profile, just for the sake of keeping up with the quality, keeping up with the value that I want to produce for my community and for my audience. And actually, like you mentioned, I'm a hard worker, so I spend a lot of time in the day working. So how is that going to change in the future? Well, I'm thinking that the amount of time I spend on clients will increase even more, just because that we'll be probably having more clients in the future, and well, a couple of more. And the amount of time on my profile probably will decrease, just because of the amount of posts that I'll be producing. So I like want to focus with the time more and more on the quality of actions I take on the platform. So it's not like just I'll do more and somehow I'll land more potential, clients, leads, business, and so on. So my focus is finding those 20% of crucial tasks, actions that I need to do to get that 80% of the outcome.
I see. Okay, that's that's a good approach. I also, yeah, that's a good approach. That's logical. 20 and 80%. That's always how you split it on social media and everywhere else, I guess. That's why I wanted to ask you, what tools do you use for like working with the clients and content creation? But I saw that you posted the post recently about all the different softwares that you use. But I'm still going
Yeah.
to ask, what are your favorite ones besides Canva?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually you took out the best one. Um, it's actually crazy to think that to begin your journey on LinkedIn costs you $0.
Hmm.
And if you want to take it further, it's more than $0. But like the initial action costs you nothing, just like a laptop, LinkedIn profile, and internet, and that's all. But if we talk about my toolkit, so the most favorite tool, you gave me a super hard task.
Oh
I love maybe Calendly,
yeah.
because it's like, yeah, because it's like a quick way to get connected with the people. So I have an system for my own profile. So basically, just I had this situation, like a crazy situation on Monday. Uh, I ended my day, and I think in 9 p.m. I went on a run and came back, and I see two notifications that two people booked a discovery call. So like I did nothing. My profile basically did the thing, like all the clicks, the buttons, and everything, and just it required a minimum of my energy to get like the actual action from those people. So I like that part about it, because like I get a chance to be connected with the people without doing a lot of work. Also, a couple of other great mentions. Folk app, which is basically a mini CRM system. So I have all the contacts, all the connections, all the potential leads, like lists of people that I need to engage with on a daily basis, the potential prospects that could potentially end up working with us. So, like a clear list of people that I need to know about. Also, Grammarly, like always catching up with the things that need to be cleared out from your copy and make it, to be sharp. And so a lot of great tools. It's actually hundreds of great tools, especially with the AI booming
Oh yeah.
and all of that stuff. So website, like everything. What is your top one tool? Is such a hard question. I would like to hear your thoughts on it.
If we're talking about content creation, definitely Photoshop and definitely Premiere Pro for video
Oh
editing,
yeah,
and ChatGPT
yeah,
because it's an idea generator. Well, it's like a perfect tool for everyone right now.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, I use also Premiere Pro as well for the videos. I don't know why I didn't mention it, but it's
Because because I think in today's world, like tools like Canva, making it more like super simple for us to make edits,
yeah,
and you don't really need to import and export files. It's super simple. You just drag and drop, and everything is ready in few clicks.
yeah. That's awesome. Are you also editing video through Adobe Premiere Pro?
Yes, definitely. That's the program that I'm working
Wow.
with. Yeah, that's easy. That's like Photoshop, but for videos. So not that hard to learn.
I don't know. I don't know much people who uses Premiere Pro as well, so I'm kind of satisfied to hear this that also use Premiere Pro.
What other softwares can you use for video editing that are that good?
um, hmm. I'm actually using sometimes After Effects. So once again, Adobe program,
Yeah.
but like even more advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are other softwares like Final Cut Pro, DaVinci
Mm-hmm.
Resolve. So
Yeah.
also like related to Premiere Pro, but like more simple versions of uh, of that particular field. If you talk about like simple apps, like you upload videos and basically does the job for you. So I don't use these tools.
Mm.
So I'll honestly say to you that I don't use these tools and I cannot like recommend you anything because I'm a bit, like coming from a video background. I'm kind of a bit of a video software nerd. So I love, knowing everything like inside what's happening, like the cuts, the trims, like everything. So I'm kind of, interested in doing it my own way, but having a freedom to put everything together. So that's why I probably use a Premiere Pro. So, but that's
Yeah.
interesting thing because a lot of people in that video content creation world talking about DaVinci Resolve, which is a great platform to have even better colors.
Oh yeah.
But
That's for
yeah,
color
that's
correction, I think, more if you are into that, and that's
yeah,
like whole different industry. It's separate from video
yeah,
editing at all. But the DaVinci
yeah,
result is great.
totally.
Their cameras are great, also super expensive. But I saw the raw image, and it's incredible what you can do with it.
Yeah,
Di-
yeah, totally.
what DSLR camera do you use for video?
Uh, Actually, I used a lot of cameras before, but I have a lot of my favorites. It's once again, it's super hard to pick one. Um, I've been using Sony
Hmm.
a lot of times, and different kind of like specific kind of cameras because I feel Sony what has a great advantage it has a great advantage in terms of colors, also picture profiles. Well, it's also all about you having a solid like lens and working with it. So like when I worked in a couple of agencies with e-commerce, so we had like I think four different cameras, and we were renting lenses, lightnings, like everything. So it was kind of pretty advanced. So we kind of have had this chance to choose from the best options to the particular situation that we are having. So it all comes down to what is your goal
Mm-hmm.
and what is the setup. So let's say if you are in a studio shooting a product commercial, so you probably will need one specific camera. But if you are outdoors shooting, a portrait photography of a person, so we have another situation. So once again, so you like compare, think of the opportunities, possibilities that you have at the table, and you just like work with what you have.
Yeah, yeah, I understand, obviously, but you need to try everything in order to figure out what works best for you.
Exactly, exactly.
If you came from like video creating and photograph creating backgrounds, so right now, how do you acquire the skills of content creation, or do you use like outsourcing, maybe someone who can help you out with that, or did you learn some way? Like, how did that
Uh,
transition happen?
okay, so you actually mentioning video, going from video content
Mm-hmm.
to LinkedIn
To
personal
content
branding, right?
creation.
Like that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to put like the whole story into simple words, so like I mentioned, I was kind of losing a spark in what I did because I was feeling like a hamster running in a wheel, like doing filming, editing, giving away the video, once again, filming, editing, and so on. So I don't know, it kind of felt like um the same thing over and over again, and I felt that it's not like fully the thing that I like to do. um, I always enjoyed having freedom, having a dynamic atmosphere, talking with people, especially maybe understanding on a deeper level their situation, their problem, and how my particular skills can help them to get to that desired situation. Like I'm a bridge between their current situation and end goal. So I feel that LinkedIn kind of fulfills all of these things that I mentioned to you, is just because that I didn't understood it in the first place. So that's why I wanted to try out other social media platforms and ended up being on LinkedIn. And my actually family were pushing me that maybe you should come back to video, maybe you should do a freelancing, maybe it's like a thing you could monetize still. And this day I get, I think, one or two requests per month to film a video. So like old contacts coming back and say, hey Julius, I have this and that, could you help me? And I'm saying, sorry, I don't work with video anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, well, I could just like easily say, yeah, of course, let's do it. But I won't be true to myself, first of all, and I will be pushing myself. So just like accepting thing and taking money and then doing an actual video shooting. It doesn't feel right to me, I would say. So that's why I decided that I let other professionals do the best of their job, that feeling that this is their thing, and I'll focus on my stuff and do my best to help those people that I can help. So this is how it happened, basically. So
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing that you have like a strong feeling inside of you that this is what you need to do, even if you have skills for everything or anything else. That's amazing. That strong calling inside of you tells you this is the way.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of, I don't know if you had this any experience in your life, but kind of once you have mastered a skill, well, you are pretty good at something, and like giving up on it, it kind of at the same time feels good and bad. Good is because that you will be doing a stuff that is fulfilling, that is, totally about you, that's totally related to your beliefs, but at the same time you're dropping like this amount of years that you spent on doing this particular thing, and you just like, um, not monetizing, maybe not like enjoying it, and stuff. So it's kind of, it kind of had like both sides, both like positive and negative, but in the end of the day it's still more of a positive thing. Absolutely.
if it
Did you
makes
have
you
like
happy,
any this
if it
sorry?
makes you happy, I think that's the way to go. Even if someone
Yeah,
might
yeah,
disagree with
absolutely.
you, it's all right. If it makes you happy, you will find a way to monetize it and to make it your thing.
Absolutely. Did you have like any this kind of transition in your life? Like
Sure.
when you have, yeah, when you have this one thing that you developed through the years and you decided, and like when you
Yeah.
began feeling like it's
Yeah.
not your thing and you have to
Yeah.
pivot. Yeah. Would
uh,
love to
uh,
hear it also.
I didn't start as a marketer. That was something that I understood that I needed in my life, the change. And I started as an engineer. I was electrical engineer, and that's what my parents wanted me to be. So I worked in it for a couple of years, and I was good in it because it's technical things, and I actually good in technical things in math and in
Okay.
programming. So it was like shift for me to the marketing, like 190 degrees,
Yeah.
because I didn't feel satisfied with what I was doing. It was just automatically, and every day was the same. So I just needed a change, and that's how I started with marketing.
Yeah. Did
So
did you feel any guilt like
sure.
when you decided to go from?
Sure,
Yeah.
especially when you feeling the pressure from your parents that what are you doing with your life, like just switching to marketing just like that. It's definitely you're feeling guilt because you're starting like from scratch. You're starting something new, and you have no idea where this journey will take you, and you need to learn all the things from the start, and that's why it's scary at first, and you feel guilt because you already had mastered something and spent so much time
Yeah.
and effort. But I think eventually, if that's your calling, it worth it.
Yeah, yeah. It was the same for me. Like my mom especially asked me, Julius, why the hell are you dropping video content? You have mastered it like through a couple of years. Basically, you can just just like simply take the money and then live your life easily. But like you mentioned, it's not that easy, to do, and it's kind of against like who you are and your beliefs. So I'm I'm totally feeling it what you're saying. So
Yeah, when you know.
yeah,
I saw a couple of amazing stories on YouTube. I'm a big YouTube user. So there was a doctor who finished her study, it's like 7 years, and started her practice. And she just understood that that's not for her. And she went to do a YouTube channel and fitness. And there are a lot of stories just like that, like someone who is working really hard to get where they are, doctors and
yeah,
lawyers and I don't know what else is out there. Like, I don't know, any other profession that you need to work hard to require, and then just, okay, let's create TikTok videos because that's fun and they do great money with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I think that like the courage of you taking that crucial step to
Yeah.
fulfill what you feel the most comfortable about is is something magical, and I really, really, really appreciate people who are taking that step and making their life about things that they feel happy just by simply being happy.
Yeah, that's when you can relate to the phrase that you don't work if you do something you love or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely.
Um, I have a last question for you regarding YouTube. Um, Top creators that you personally followed and watched before you started, like who do you follow now and who do you recommend to follow to someone who is just starting on LinkedIn?
Yes. Great question, though. I'm actually spending less and less time on YouTube. I'm following only a specific names related to business building
so, so
and
sorry, on
building.
LinkedIn, not YouTube.
Uh,
If I said YouTube,
YouTube, yeah.
my
Sorry,
mistake. Yeah.
I yeah, I meant YouTube. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I meant YouTube. Sorry. This is like a proof that I'm living on LinkedIn, basically. Yeah. Yeah, so I follow a couple of folks that are talking about business building. So it is a JK Molina, a Twitter guy that sold a tweet hunter for I think around $1 million. Then Charlie Morgan, another great guy in terms of business building. Um, what else? What else? Also, like a classical ones like I love checking the features of Stephen Bartlett, the Diary CEO, Alex Guberman, neuroscience. Like I'm really interested also to understand like how the human beings work. Also Lenny's podcast, like it's also a bit related to growth. So I'm kind of like you are seeing, I'm using YouTube just in a way to dig deeper and understand like those behind the scenes stuff, like what's happening, like what other folks who are steps ahead of me are doing and how they see life. So I could just not only get inspired but also like learn some new stuff. So majority of my time is focused on LinkedIn. Some of my time is spent on YouTube and Twitter. But I used to spend on YouTube a lot more time before I take that step to LinkedIn. So basically, I was following a lot of like creative directors on YouTube, like Sam Calder, J.R. Ali, a lot of like big names in terms of videography,
Mhm.
also like those entertainment kind of based creators like Mr. Beast, A-Rack. So it was like kind of impressive to see how they are, finding their own way and kind of killing at it. Mr. Beast right now is
Oh yeah.
basically the best YouTube
Oh
creator
yeah.
in the world, that like no doubt. So I was kind of, interested in like how they are doing the things that they are doing. So yeah, I would say these kind of people that comes up to my mind like right now while thinking.
Well, thank you so much. Um, I don't really have any more questions for you, so thank you so much for taking your time and joining me today.
Thank you so much, Rita, for this wonderful conversation. And I really enjoyed, sharing some stuff with you and having this conversation. So thank you so much.